Welcome to this whole wheat za'atar pizza recipe. First, we're gonna make the topping, and this includes 3 tablespoons of sesame seeds. You can use the raw sesame seeds, but it is better to toast it for around 2 to 5 minutes on the stove. The toasty flavor is simply a nice extra touch, but not completely essential. Keep your eye on the pan and don't let it burn. See the brown color coming out? Now's the time to take it off, and we will ground the sesame seeds now finely in a pestle and mortar. It simply releases a bit of extra flavor to ground our toasted sesame seeds. Now we add real green spices like thyme to our za'atar topping. You can adapt the amount of spice you add to the side of the pizza you want. For a standard sized pizza, I recommend around 3 tablespoons of each ingredient. And we are starting off with thyme. Next up, oregano. So we have 3 tablespoons thyme, 3 tablespoons oregano. However, you could also use marjoram instead of oregano, or you can mix 50% oregano, 50% marjoram. Depends on your own preference. Marjoram has a similar taste to oregano, not completely the same, but it simply adds some variety to the spices that you add. So you could add 1.5 tablespoon marjoram and 1.5 tablespoon oregano. That would be my preference. Next up, sumac, a citric spice, adding some acidity to our za'atar, an essential za'atar ingredient. It's made from berries. Purple berries finely ground is sumac. So we have 3 tablespoons of sumac, and next around 1 teaspoon of salt is perfect. However, if you don't like too salty, then you could add less. You can add half teaspoon of salt. Safest bet would be 3/4 of teaspoons of salt, but you could always add afterwards as well. On top of your pizza, some extra salt if you need it. Now we're gonna add our ground toasted sesame seeds on top of the rest of the spices. One perfect za'atar mix coming to you soon. This is optional, grounding the spices. It's already kind of finely ground spices, so it's not necessary to further ground it, but you can if you want to. Let's mix it all up now. Za'atar pizza, here we come. Now for the olive oil, extra virgin, cold pressed olive oil, 1/4 cup, full to the brim, should be enough for 1 za'atar pizza. Mix it with the spices, and you will have a perfect za'atar spice mix in no time. Of course, I'm simply showing you here that you can buy a ready-made za'atar spice mixture as well. These are all free ready-made za'atar spice mixtures which I bought in shops, but I prefer making my own, because then I'm fully in control of the final spice mix and I know exactly what I'm putting in. Now let's make the pizza dough. In the Middle East, they don't really call this pizza. They have their own Middle Eastern names, but in the West we call it za'atar pizza. It's a very popular breakfast in Middle Eastern countries like Lebanon, Israel, also during the rest of the day. Similar to a whole wheat bread recipe, you will add around 40% water for each cup of whole wheat flour. So we added 3 cups of whole wheat flour and around 1.4 cups of water. The golden ratio of making dough, and we add instant yeast as well, and then mix everything up. Let it ferment for around an hour. Form it into a nice dough. If you add at 40% water, you'll find the final dough. You'll make it very easily. A Okay, so this is after we fermented it. I'm not going to show you an hour of fermentation. That is an essential step before this step, where we are making the flat pizza dough. You can get one of these pizza rollers in any decent kitchen shop. Okay, we're testing the size. In this case, I have my own pizza pan. You don't need this kind of pizza pan. You can use a regular oven pan as well. But I love the holes in my pizza pan because it means my pizza dough will bake through entirely. While if you use a regular pizza pan, the base can be a bit soggy because it's not baked through. I will show you afterwards. There is one small missing step now that we're gonna get to very soon. We put on the mix, the za'atar spice mix. Spread it out nicely and evenly. This is what makes our pizza one of the Middle East's favorite foods. After we spread it out nicely, you will notice we are covering the pizza entirely and we have a perfect za'atar mix. If you want to, you could add even more spices. Then it would simply be 4 tablespoons of everything except 3 tablespoons of everything. For a nice big pizza like this one, I would not add only 2 tablespoons of everything. I think 3 tablespoons is enough. But if you love extra dense topping, you could do 4 tablespoons of every spice. Spreading it out, cover the pizza entirely. And if you add more spices, you simply add a bit more of olive oil as well. You will find different ratios of herbs. If you look up this recipe on the internet, everybody has their own way of making this. So you could add maybe 1 more tablespoon of this, 1 less of this, but we're giving you like our own preference. It's also great to have a rule of thumb, to simply have an equal tablespoon amount of every ingredient. It's the perfect combination. 3 tablespoons of every herb. Let's put it in the oven now for around 25 minutes at around 185 degrees Celsius. We're gonna get to the fail stage now. This is the one step that was missing earlier, which I told you about. We did not oil the pizza pan, and now the dough is sticking to the pizza pan. What a mission to get the pizza slices in one piece of the pizza pan now. Take some kitchen towels and add a bit of olive oil. It can be even less than this, but this is the more you add, the more certain you are that you're properly oiling the pan to make sure the dough won't stick. Do not forget this step, or your recipe will not succeed. It will stick to the pan afterwards and you will spoil the pizza because you would have to tear it off and destroy it. Okay, this is the second pizza that I made. In this case, you can see how easily the pizza lifts off. The pizza base is still very warm here, which is why I'm wary of touching the base itself. It takes around 10 seconds to get the pizza off the warm pizza base. The pizza is still sizzling hot at this stage. Let's now cut our perfect za'atar pizza. Now you can enjoy your za'atar pizza. The dough is very nice and firm because it got baked through thanks to our pizza pan with holes underneath. If it was simply a regular pan and not a pizza pan, the pizza base may have been very soggy at this point. Instead, our pizza base is baked right through. The most tasty za'atar pizza you will find anywhere. Even if you're in the Middle East, it will not be as good as this one because we used 100% whole wheat stone ground flour. 10 times better than the white flour they use in the Middle East. Thank you for watching my za'atar pizza whole wheat recipe. Until next time, healthtraveljunkie.com.